Has called on President Uhuru Kenyatta to urgently address the summit of governors on the way forward in the capital, Nairobi, which he says is on autopilot mode. This even as the Speaker of the Senate refused to convene an urgent meeting of the Senate, which Sakaja had requested. So what is next for the capital? Senator Sakaja joins us now and for the first time on Punchline. Welcome to the program. And you were just telling me that there's a new development, that the Speaker of the Senate has actually written to you and there may be a way forward.
Thanks, Anne, and it's great to be here for the first time. The Speaker wrote back and he acknowledged that indeed there was a lacuna in the standing orders of the Senate in terms of how to call a special sitting during the period in between two sessions. And he has advised on how that can be done. The number of signatures required of senators, 24, which is the majority of counties. And already I have 40 senators who are willing to discuss Nairobi. The Senate under Article 96 is mandated to actually, protect the interests of counties and the governments. And following Justice Mumbi Ngugi's ruling, which is being appealed and the judgment will come out on the 20th, Kenyans want a stable Nairobi. We want, if Nairobi doesn't work, it's in the interest of every Kenyan. But Nairobi is actually moving and working. We want a governor to be able to deliver services to Nairobians. So the sitting will go on because the Senate must pronounce itself.
But are you confident that the Senate can actually pronounce itself and with authority? Because you all have equally protested the fact that the majority whip of the Senate is actually representing the governor in court, and he would be the one who would be in a position to whip the party as senators should any decision be coming from the Senate. So what confidence do you have, even if a sitting is convened, that people will be towing a coherent party line?
Fortunately, the Senate has, honorable men and women who make their decisions based on their own assessment of facts. And once the meeting is called, I don't think other influences will come to play. Senators have made decisions, radical decisions, based on their own individual perspective. I have said, I think twice or thrice, a year ago, when Senator Orengo was representing Sospita Ojamong, I said it's a conflict of interest because he's a governor. The Senate protects counties. It cannot be that a governor is charged with corruption and you go to court to represent him. I've said it again when Senator Kipchumba Murkomen and Senator Mutula Kilonzo, who are both my friends and my leaders, because one is the leader of majority, one is the whip. I said it is an irreconcilable conflict of interest. You cannot be a lawyer in a case that will be the judge tomorrow, because all these matters still come to the Senate.
So is your confidence coming that these are reasonable men and women in the Senate if they're already showing that track record?
My confidence is in what the Senate has been able to do. The Senate has, in many occasions, proven to move beyond party lines. The Senate is concerned about the city. I've spoken to senators. And, it is our core mandate. If we don't discuss this, what else are we discussing in the Senate? And for me, really, it's about how do we get Nairobi moving. And I want to assure Nairobians that things will get moving. We must make sure the county works. We've had many months where
the county works with the current governor?
It doesn't matter. For me, it's not about individuals. It's about the structures. It's about systems.
Is it not about leadership as much?
It's about leadership, and it's about the structures of leadership. That's why the Constitution creates the position of governor, deputy governor, MCAs, and county executive. And I'm on record more than actually 3 times, raising in the Senate the issue of the deputy governor. The governor said that there's no legal requirement or legal framework for him to do that. We passed the law. The president signed it. The Supreme Court pronounced themselves. So in terms of oversight, in terms of what the Senate's role must be, we have played our part and we want real action done because Nairobi must work. It's not about individuals. Nairobi is big. It's a county of 17 constituencies, 85 wards, more than 4 million people. We need the economy moving. A huge percentage of our GDP comes from Nairobi.
Do you foresee any likelihood of a by-election in Nairobi?
It is possible. It is possible.
What would the path to that be?
It is possible. We've seen Senate, the MCAs trying to bring an impeachment motion. I'm not too keen on that because I know how convoluted that can be.
Convoluted how?
Convoluted. Look at Wambora's case. Wambora's case took months and, court after court. And at the end of the day, he remained in power. For me, it's not about who gets the seat of governor. It's the fact that we need a pronouncement by the courts. The courts have put us in a predicament.
But surely it is about, and I understand perhaps the tricky political position you're in because you're in the same party with the governor. You campaigned with him, you vouched for him, you said we're going to have Team Nairobi, and you're seeming to strike a cautious tone on the program. But it is very much about the individual who holds that position because they are the ones who are going to execute that mandate.
The individual,
yes,
the individual is chosen by the people.
True, but it's not the people who execute the mandate, it's the individual. Why are you running away from the fact that who leads matters?
It does matter, but no matter who you get, without the proper structures, without the proper legal framework, they can't deliver. And Nairobi needs the resources, and it needs the goodwill of not just the county government, but also the national government. And so that is why I'm saying that the issues I raised in terms of structure, in terms of a governor and a deputy, in terms of accountability. As recently as 3 weeks ago, with all the members of parliament from Nairobi who are saying that they have CDF, they have constituencies, and they need to align to the county government, must be looked at. So in terms of who leads it, it's the people to decide. I am confident that, yes, we went out, we campaigned together, we had a manifesto, we had a plan. Has it been implemented or not? The county government has spectacularly failed in certain aspects. It has performed in certain aspects. But at the end of the day, the verdict is not my verdict as Sakaja. I was elected to be the senator and to make sure there is oversight, no matter who is the governor. I could have been the senator with an ODM governor. I would still play my role with a Jubilee governor. I don't just have the Jubilee voters.
And what specifically would you say so far that you have done to oversight Nairobi?
The platform which I use to oversight is the Senate. That's what I was elected to. I brought several questions, statements. The governor has been summoned a couple of times. And even before that, I've been able to ensure that Nairobi gets the kind of resources it needs. And we've looked at how those resources are being spent. We've raised questions. That is where oversight is. Oversight is not, going out there punching walls and, doing press conferences and statements. It's about the actual work in the Senate. And if you look at the Hansard, I think possibly more than many other senators, because many of them, have some cordial relationships with their governors. I have actually, in the last 2 years and 100 and something days, been able to bring these issues to the fore and to the Senate. So that is the oversight role we play. The first point of oversight is the county assembly, and we've been supporting the MCAs in playing their role. And I think to a great extent, they've done their work, and they need to go on. You've just read the story about Peter Emo talk and the MCAs trying to bring a motion in the county. That is their work. At the end of the day, the people of Nairobi want services. They don't care about which individual it is. They just want services. They want Nairobi to move. Businesses
I
need
think
to
they
move
care
on.
which individual it is because they vote for an individual. So
They vote for an individual,
individuals matter. But let's
the
move
one-
forward.
the one
Because
programs.
you talked about, I agree, the individual promises programs and we expect the individual to carry out those programs. But having said that, Senator, we've talked about the likelihood of a by-election and you said there may be one. If there was a by-election, would you run for governor?
I got elected to be senator for 5 years. Initially, I wanted to be governor. And I campaigned for that position. I looked at the political situation. And, because of the political dynamics, I went for senator. I have a 5-year mandate. And that's what I'm saying. I'm not thinking about myself as a governor for
So if
Nairobi.
a by-election happens before 2022, you're not running?
Well, I listen to the people. If the people decide that I should go for it, I'll go for it.
Okay.
If the people decide I should go for it, I'll go for it. I'm not, and it's my constitutional right. If the people of Nairobi feel that I would serve them best as governor, I would go for it. But for now, I'm the senator, and I must continue playing my role unapologetically to serve the people of Nairobi.
And as senator with the current crisis, would you like to see a county management board in place?
You see, we have constitutional provisions. Even if there's a county management board, it is there for a short period. It's only for 90 days. And that is if the president decides to invoke Article 192, and because of exceptional circumstances, the governor is not able to perform his duties, appoint a commission to actually run Nairobi, and that will just be for 90 days. And after those 90 days, there will be a by-election.
Would that be the right thing for the president to do right now?
I think it might not be the right thing, but it might be the necessary thing. But let us wait and hear what Justice Mumbi rules, because there's no vacancy. There's a governor in Nairobi. The governor is Sanko. He's still the governor. He has a 5-year mandate. He has a court case that he is, appearing before. And if Justice Ngugi's ruling is upheld, he continues to serve. He might not just access the physical premises of the county, but is able to serve. But if there is a vacancy, then we will look for the best candidate for Nairobi.
Is Nairobi, as some have been saying, as BBI has even possibly intimated, too big, too important to be run by just, one individual in the office of governor?
Number one, and that's why I keep saying it's not about an individual, Nairobi can only be run by team effort. You need to have proper professionals, sober leadership. You need to have people in different departments dealing with it. I do not agree with the BBI as proposal, and I fully support the BBI in terms of bringing Kenyans together, cohesion, etc. But the proposal to remove Nairobi from a county, our constitution, Anne, if you look at it, what was the hallmark of our constitution? It was devolution. There are people in Mutuini, in Soweto, in Kariobangi, who had never seen certain services at the grassroots level, who have been seeing it. Now, if devolution is the biggest gift that our constitution has provided, Nairobi, even by the last census, has almost or even more than 10% of Kenyans. Why should you deny 10% of Kenyans the gift of devolution because of the failure of two individuals, because of Kidero and Sanko? It cannot be about those individuals. That's what I'm saying. We must be able to look, how should Nairobi work? Nairobi, you need to make sure, if you look at the Urban Areas and Cities Act.
So how should it work, yeah?
If you look at the Urban Areas and Cities Act, it provides for, devolving it further. You need to have, whether it is boroughs or whether you decide Nairobi North, East, South, and West. You cannot have one person who's in charge of roads in Lavington, also dealing with the roads in Kayole and Dandora. You need to be able to break it down and say what is the budget.
Run by whom? Who would the boroughs be run by?
We have city managers provided for in the Urban Areas and Cities Act. You have city managers. We have a plan. The new plan cost 400 million shillings. It is, in fact, no one needs a new manifesto. Just implement that plan. You have accountability. If I drive through Westlands and I see a heap of garbage, I know who's in charge, and he goes home. And so once you break it down, and in fact the Constitution on top of that provides that Nairobi will have a special arrangement and a special relationship with the national government. Right. So you don't treat Nairobi like a Bomet or like a Kakamega or like any other county. It's a special county.
Why hasn't that been implemented, that piece of
I think there has been lethargy in the leadership. Governor Kidero and Governor Mike Sanko have not been able to take up that opportunity that is within the law. Because as Senator, I've been able to make sure in the first year, Nairobi got 15.9 billion. In the second year, we got 15 billion, again, the highest in the country. Nairobi is collecting 8, 9, 10 billion shillings. In fact, now the collection is a bit low. But on top of that, you can actually invoke that provision of the Constitution. Go to the government and say, look, help me with the roads. Let us work on the drainage system. Let us work on water. Let us work on this unemployment problem.
But Governor Sanko, whom you have just said on this program, has failed, and you've lumped his failure as that of Kidero as well, had all that support from the national government. We saw the president bring, his cabinet, almost every cabinet docket was brought in to work alongside him, and yet we're still in the state that we're in. And I don't say that to validate the point of whether he was a success or not, but the fact that you, as we've earlier said, endorsed him as Team Nairobi. And so when you talk about his failure, is it certainly not your failure as well? You campaigned with this man and told Nairobians, this is the ticket, this is the team that you've talked about on this program, and that team has failed.
I've heard even on social media with the, what's the name of this guy, King Kaka's new song, saying that, and people being vilified, that you campaigned for Jubilee and Jubilee is not delivering, you should not ask questions. It is to the contrary, I disagree. The fact that you campaigned for a certain team, the fact that you voted for a certain candidate, actually gives you more license to demand for that candidate to deliver. And that is why I'm saying I have more responsibility to make sure the governor delivers. I want the governor to succeed. I want Mike Sanko to be able to succeed as governor.
But because you're a ticket, if Kenyans are done with Sanko, if they were to be, and I'm not saying that they are, but if they were to be, then surely they are done with you as well.
I think that's a decision for the Kenyans, because we were elected to play different roles. We were elected together, but everyone, the people who voted for me, who didn't vote for Sanko, the people who voted for Sanko, who did vote for me, I am playing my role. Ultimately, Kenyans will decide, because I do not own the seat of senator. I do not own the seat of governor. Kenyans must decide, has Sakaja done his work as the person who's supposed to actually oversight the county and protect devolution, and they will make that decision. Right. But ultimately, it's about the dream and the vision of Nairobi. Nairobi must succeed.
Right, we're just about to wind up. 2016, 2017, David Murathe as the Jubilee vice chairman, in the behind the scenes around the nominations, raised a lot of concerns about Governor Sanko getting the ticket. Ultimately, it was reported that it took the president's intervention to say, look, this is the popular guy, let him go for nominations, let him get the ticket if that's what Kenyans want. But in hindsight, we know that party leaders, party officials do have powers, do have their own structures and processes to determine who eventually can have a party ticket. And Jubilee knew all along who Mike Sanko was. In fact, Mike Sanko has never pretended about who he is, has he? He said, I was in prison more than once. He said all these things. Jubilee knew all these things, and yet at the end of the day said that it is a person of his kind of character, of his kind of stature, that can run for the top seat in Nairobi. How can you defend yourselves from the mess in which we find ourselves now?
Jubilee party leadership did not give Sanko the ticket. Sanko won a nomination. Nairobians elected him. Nairobians will reflect when the election comes, whether it is before 2022 or in 2022, and so whether they made the decision. And that's a beautiful thing about party democracy, that at the end of the day, and that's why we must question the system we have. You know, just the other day, Boris Johnson won a huge majority in the UK.
Right, the Tories, yes.
And he got another 47 seats. In those countries, actually parties conduct interviews and decide who is the best person to be governor, who is the best person to be an MP, who is the person to be whatever it is in those countries. But in terms of Nairobi, he actually won.
But are you saying the party had no say in terms of the candidates, that it was going to field in terms of everything that it talks about in signing a code of conduct, etc.? The fact that this is somebody who has actually been in jail before, that did not raise alarm at any point?
You know, the party...
As a criminal past?
The party gave it to the people to decide. He got a certificate of good conduct, and the people decided that it is him. Now the people will see, okay, this kind of person, and that's the beauty of it, because I'm glad we have Sanko, we have other governors in different counties, and people are realizing that sometimes maybe popularity does not necessarily mean delivery, that you can deliver, that you can be a popular person and maybe you'll have challenges in delivering. And our democracy is evolving. Kenyans will start asking themselves more serious questions. What is the kind of person who should be governor? Right. What is the kind of person who should be a senator? But trying to say that it's a president who appointed him as governor is wrong. You didn't say that.
Just said that you let the party let him have the ticket.
The party didn't let him have the ticket. The people, the members of the party in Nairobi, gave him the ticket. If it was about anointing, then it will be about party democracy and the lack of it.
All right. And that's our time. Can you believe?
Thank you very much.
Punchline flew like the wind. Nairobi's Senator Sakaja Johnson. We're back after this.